they're lined up and they break away for the Racing Post Trophy in Loch Ruin. I just dwell a little bit in the stalls, and on the outside it's Be My Chief, who may have to do all his own work. Loch Ruin with the white cap Baligh, and then Cutting Note followed by Qathif, and they race through the first quarter mile. And it's Be My Chief from the front, Steve Cawthon riding, with Baligh in the white cap moving through on the rails, just 3 parts ahead of Loch Ruin, with Cutting Note wide in sharing second place now. The back marker is still Qathif, so they plough their way through the first 3 furlongs, and Be My Chief in this race, perhaps it's not just a question of if he wins, it's a question of how far. He's clear by 2 at this stage over Baligh in second, and then Cutting Note in third, and Qathif next to the rails in 4, and Loch Ruin is 5, and they're halfway, and it's Be My Chief leading clear by 2 over Baligh in second, and then Qathif with the horse with the noseband next to the rails. Wide is Cutting Note as they start the turn into the home straight, 3.5 to go, and it's Be My Chief. Here's Prick leading from Qathif, but Cutting Note in the yellow colours is coming up on the outside. Behind these comes Qathif, and on the outside Loch Ruin down towards the 2, and Be My Chief and Cutting Note is trying to pressurise him now as they come past the 2, but Be My Chief has the answers at this stage. Pull to the outside is Qathif for a run, a furlong and a half to race, and Be My Chief is lazy in front, but is striding out well on this rain-softened ground, and this is an impressive performance, because having made the running, is coming away from these as they race up towards the line, changing his legs, but Be My Chief is the easy winner, and Be My Chief the winner close to second, with Baligh and Qathif in a photo, second and third, followed by Loch Ruin and Cutting Note. This was impressive. This is the Racing Post Trophy, a Group 1 winner, and it's gone to number 2, Be My Chief, in the colours of Mr. Peter Burrell, bred by the Peter E. Burrell Trust, trained at Newmarket by Henry Cecil and ridden by Steve Cawthon, the 7-4 on favourite winner, and an impressive winner to boot. It's close for second, but the judge has called Baligh as second and Qathif as third. So Peter Burrell has landed the day with his son of Chief's Crown, bred in America, and a very, very impressive performance too. 6 out of 6. And I think we certainly have the privilege here at Newcastle of seeing a very good horse perform to the delight of the crowd, who are flocking, leaving the stands now to go and pack the winner's enclosure to see Be My Chief, an unbeaten colt this season, come home to a well-deserved round of applause.
He did it in faultless style. He's dominated from start to finish. John Frankham said to me after a furlong, crikey, they're going a good gallop, aren't they? And they certainly did. The second horse home, Baligh, against the rails there, Willie Carson White Cap, is in fact going the worst of the 4, chasing Be My Chief from early in the straight, but he's got more stamina in his pedigree than a couple of those with him, and he stays on well to snatch second place. Whether Be My Chief beat a bunch of horses who have improved today is open to question, because basically they finished within 3 or 4 lengths of the others, the other 4 that is. And on the outside here, Qathif, who looked to danger, possibly didn't get the trip because he weakened. But what's impressive, let's concentrate on the winner, is the way he keeps up to his work really resolutely. There's no sign of him stopping. In fact, he's lengthening.
Absolutely, and he's got the most wonderful action. Just look at the ground that he covers when he's galloping. And he reminded me early on, he gallops almost like a greyhound. He's a lovely fluid motion. And Steve Cawthon's really made him go about his business today. We've seen him look a little bit lazy in the past. Well, you certainly couldn't accuse him of being that this afternoon. I thought this was a wonderful performance. And I would think Henry Cecil would be looking forward to the Guineas next year.